Hey everyone, Papercut here, back with another replay review. This time we have Iron Spade 2462 playing Zushi's Legacy on Mongolian Heights against an OTD player. Now, this is fun because I usually don't get to see Zushi played. Not very common to be played in gold level, so excited to see this one play out. And see how he plays it. Now first, not surprised about the opening here. Because generally I know gold, you tend to avoid the water, but one thing I think it's very worthwhile for you to add to your opening set is how to open when there's potential water. Because as Zushi, you actually have a very good water save because you start with Imperial Official, so you can immediately go into a lumber camp and supervise that lumber camp to get extra wood and drop a dock really quickly. And there's just so much food on here that often people who fish on Mongolian Heights get an immediate advantage. Considering your opponent, or the dragon, dropped 2 farms immediately, you would have had the advantage of getting docks, and that's just a lot of food. And it's also like you're on 2 TC because you're making fishing boats and villagers, and you would just completely out-ecoed him. It's just a heads up. I'm sure you can find guides on YouTube how to open water for Zushis, but I think the easiest rule of thumb would be send all 5 villagers to do wood gathering with the Imperial Official. Then you just rally all your villagers coming out of the TC onto food until you get 4. Then you want to rally 8 to wood, build the dock when you have 150 wood, and then just keep adding fishing boats. I'd say add like 4 fishing boats. And once you have 4 fishing boats, then you can age up. And then kind of go from there. Just keep adding fishing, defend it, you'll get so much food. And you'll be feeling great. Makes feel nice. Okay. Now the question is, are you going to fast castle against OTD? That's pretty dangerous because while you can fast castle pretty quickly, your gold's so far forward that if he attacks, you're going to be in a really dangerous spot. As well as fast casting against OTD doesn't necessarily work because they have ways to combat it. If you do knights, his spearmen are very, very good, even feudal. If you do men at arms or palace guards, he can make horsemen, or he can make his own men at arms and defend long enough. If he fast castles as well, you might be able to get more relics than him, but his units will be stronger than your initial units. You're really good at getting the next worker before this pops up. Actually, I think you're an Xbox player potentially. So you're auto queuing. I think you're an Xbox player. If I remember seeing that on your thing. Not that it matters, but that would explain the auto villaging. Auto villager queue. This is too good to not be auto queuing. Yep. All right, gonna hit the age up. Got a lot of sheep. You want to finish that scouting. Hit that age up. Hit the age up. Ooh, okay, this is our first mistake. You want to be aging up as soon as you get the age up bar. It seems like you didn't know where you wanted to drop the age up. Alright, did you change your mind? Are you coming? Where are you going? I know it's the meditation gardens. Are you just kind of guessing? It feels like you're just kind of YOLOing yourself out here, hoping you find a good spot for the meditation gardens. And this is why your scouting pattern could have been better, is that knowing you want to drop the meditation gardens, you definitely needed to scout more around your base early on. This is painful. You really needed to have been aging up at this point, because you're going to be so far behind the age up. Like, let's look at your opponent here. He's halfway through his age up. And this gets him such a tempo advantage because you're going to be so far behind, because it's not like you're building it with 4 villas, you're building it with 1. And you're guessing too. Like, you can't do this. I would have almost preferred you had just dropped it here, even though it's not amazing. At least it's happening, because now you're just falling really far behind. And this still isn't even that good of a... You're getting stone and berries. So I see this would have been pretty good. This was just a bunch of wood. I mean, the thing that sucks is that there's not really a great one. Honestly, you didn't really have a great one available to you. But walking all this way for this result just isn't worth it. Like, basically the thing to think about is, if you're going to walk out for a really good meditation gardens, you need to have found it instantly. You're doing that almost as you're getting the resources to age up. This taking so long just puts you really, really far behind. It's going to be okay, but the next thing I'm noticing is you're not getting wood at all. So this suggests you're rushing castle, but you're going to need wood for another house. Or at least wood for a tower. Okay, now we're going wood. We're getting the food for the age up first, potentially. And now you're getting the wood for wood. The wood for wood, but the wood for production. Because you kind of wanted a tower here. If you're completely cut off of gold, that could be really, really bad for you. And also make sure you're consistently getting the taxes. A big part of success of China or Zushi is getting the taxes consistently with the Imperial Official, because you should have 100 more gold in the system right now. You can only gather 40 at a time, so remember whenever possible to collect those taxes. You do that by just clicking on it, and he'll auto walk back to the TC, and you can hold shift and click back on the thing you want to observe. I mean, you have to press the button, but you know what I mean. Just we've aged up. This feels like this is going to be a fast castle. Almost there. See, and if you had gathered the gold, you would already be aging up right now. It's small, but the timing of these things really does matter when you want a successful fast castle. You also haven't scouted his base at all. So this lack of knowledge of what your opponent's doing, so like if you had gone and scouted him, you would have seen a tower on the gold. You would have seen Aachen in a great spot. He's got wood, he's got gold, he's under his initial food. He's rushing castle as well. You can tell he only has 3 on wood. He hasn't built a single production building, so he's also rushing castle. And that's good to know, because if he rushes castle, he makes crossbows and spears. You're going to be in a really bad news. Or maybe he can match you with his own knights. I don't know. The possibilities there are just really potentially very good for him. So you want to know this, because if you know he's rushing castle, you could be a little bit more effective about which relics you're going for. Maybe you could wall them off. But man, if you had fast castled with, if you'd done fishing then fast castle, you would have so much food, which really powers your ability to get like knights and things like that, because then you can focus more on getting gold. Now we're aging up, and you need to start sending villagers to gold here in a second. Once again, taking so long to start the age up. Age up was 6. So you need to drop the stable, and then you need like 7 on gold for consistent knight production, and you also need the gold for you're not gonna make knights. I wouldn't have dropped the village. You need the wood for production. And now you're at 15. So why am I not a fan of this? If you had done a house and then a stable would have been fine, because you need to be making knights. If you're doing just pure monks, they can get sniped, they can get attacked. You have nothing defending your own base. You have no aggression coming onto his base. The knights play a key part in a fast castle, because the harassment you can do on an opponent's base gives you space to get the relics and not be attacked yourself. So without doing production, you're just setting yourself up for failure, especially because you don't have a tower on your gold or anything. So if he rushes castle and just starts making units, you're in a really bad spot. Once again, you don't even know what he's doing, because you're not scouting his base. You need to scout his base. And I would rather you slow the age up if it meant you had resources. So for example, instead of having an 11 on the age up, do 6 on the age up and put 5 more on gold, because you need so much gold. You need monks, you need your upgrades, you want hopefully units. So prioritize the things you need as you hit the age up. So age up the castle, I always make sure I have 7 to 11 on gold, just so I know I have enough gold when I enter castle to get my upgrades and get the units that I want. Age up. Oh right, monks are food. Right. I forgot about that. Well then, it's good that you got food, but still, no units, no knights, nothing. I think it's just really dangerous on your part. Why are you not looking at his base? Is this what you usually do? Because the thing that holds back people so much is just not scouting your opponent. Like, what's your scout accomplishing being here? Don't you want to know what your opponent's doing? React to what your opponent's doing? He's about to click his own age up. It's Burgrave. That's good to know. You're going to have men at arms running at you any second now. And if you saw that being dropped, you could immediately drop a archery range and start making crossbows. And you can have a group of crossbows out by the time he starts running across the field. I mean, this is just the biggest red flag to me. The lack of scouting, the lack of knowing what your opponent's doing, keeping your scout by your opponent's base to see what they're doing and what they're changing is just massively hurting you too. The lack of any sort of pressure with knights also really sucks, because let's change the future. So now you're just dropping your base. So let's say you had dropped, instead of the village, you'd done a house and then you dropped a stable and you made 1 or 2 knights. You're catching him on his age up. you actually stop the agent. You push him off wood. He has to hide in his tower. Everything gets slowed down, and you get all this space to get resources. So you get all this space to get the relics and then do whatever next step you feel is necessary. But right now, he's just getting this agent for free without any pressure. You don't even know what to expect. So I'm gonna stop harping on that and just kind of speed through this, because there's the biggest piece of feedback I have right now: scouting and lack of pressure. And your resource count, you have 12 on wood, but you need gold. You need gold really, really bad to make anything useful at this stage, and to get any upgrades. I would also value getting 3 or 4 villas on stone just to get, you know, springald upgrades or things like that. Red relic coming in. So you're sending him out of arms, but you're sending this palace guard completely blind because you don't know what he's doing. I'm going to harp on the scouting a lot, just because to attack like this with no idea what's happening is a little criminal. So there's the first men at arms. You're lucky. If he had gone, usually this build, instead of doing Aachen, they do, what's it called? The mine work. And he could have double arrow upgraded men at arms with their special upgrade, and he would just walk them into your base and they don't die. And you're wholly unprepared to fight them. You do have monks. Monks would do okay against them, I think. But your opponent's playing this really badly. He could be doing this way better. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now we're dropping the archery ranges. Thank goodness. See, and even if you got knights and he still got the bird rate up, the knights would have forced him to go off men at arms onto spearmen, which is much easier to defend against because your knights would have done pretty good work against his men at arms. So knowing his plan here, which is Burgrave, just lots of units, I would immediately wall off the sides here so he can't sneak units around onto your eco. And then you want siege as well. So you want to get a mass of crossbows, and then I would also drop a siege workshop and just get nested beasts. And I would scout his base, because right now you have no idea what he's doing. Your scout's sitting down here, doing nothing. He gets 1, and he's coming. That's a lot of men at arms. Does he have upgrade? He's starting to get upgrades on them. These men at arms are tanky, man. 290. Why'd you make Zugnu? 6 Zugnu, 2. Why? They're not even upgraded Zugnu. Your palace guards aren't upgraded. And so this is the mean about lack of gold, is that you don't have the gold to get all the things you need to get. But the bigger issue is, why are you making Zugnu? I know you got some free units when you built these, but Zugnu are going to do nothing. You know he was making men at arms that you didn't adjust to the thing he made. That's a key part of the game. Love this wall, by the way. That's a key part of the game. Asking yourself, what is my opponent making? What do I need to make the counters at? He's making men at arms. You saw that. Make crossbows. Crossbows, palace guards would do great here. Zugnu will do nothing. Watch this. Look how little your army does against him. Like, it's taking forever for them to die. So in that engagement, but like, one, that was very costly for him. The Burgrave does make it cheaper, but like, you notice how you weren't doing much damage to him. Like, really at all. Crossbows. 2, resource balancing. Ask yourself, what do I need? What do I have a lot of? How do I need to change? You have a lot of wood. You need food and gold. So in that case, I'm pulling villagers off of wood. Also, you need to make sure you keep queuing villagers. Pull villagers off of wood, and I'm making my first granary. And I'm starting my food transition, because you need food really badly. And I'm pulling a bunch of villagers I'm getting on gold. Or, better yet, I'm making more imperial officials to get tax. Because look at all these tax you have. It's 300, 400, 500. At this point, 600. It's a lot of gold. A lot of gold. You have 800 gold, probably, sitting because you don't have enough imperial officials to gather them all. So make sure that you are getting more Imperial officials out. They're worth the loss of villager, or you get a second TC and make them out of second TC. But it's this adjustment of resources. You have 1,000 food. At this point, you need to just pull villagers off of wood, make granaries because you need food, and pour more villagers onto gold. And start getting your upgrades, and getting more units. Because right now you have an eco lead because of all the relics. But also some nested bees would be great. And please scout. Just scout them. Scout your opponent. And there's another thing. You're not pushing at all. So you just wiped your opponent's army. And you did nothing afterwards. There's no push. There's no response. He got to sit here and remake his army and be on gold and be on food. This is a big thing you see at this level, is not taking advantage of opportunities. The opportunity was when you wiped him to immediately push across the map and try to do damage. You would have known, how you would have known if you had an opening, if you had scouted and knew that his gold, his next gold and food were in the back here. So it'd been very logical for you to walk through this side and boom, gold, boom, food much earlier. You're just giving him a lot of space and time. You're also not making units consistently. You're dropping production and having them come out of the Zhangning Tower, but you don't need the units you get for free. You need knights, you need crossbows, you need palace guards. And now he's beating you because you're not making counter units. Where are the counter units? Just complete lack of counter units. Make units. Make units. Make military. Make military. Okay, we're farm transition. It's great. Make military. You notice how long you went there without making military? A big part of the game is, can you just consistently make units? And that comes from queuing all of your units together. All your production buildings, gotta put them on 4. And continuously queuing units. Now you're making the counter units, which is really nice. Took you a while, but like if he had pushed across right then, you'd have been sunk. Once again, you're lucky he gave you time. 3-bit your military, but consistently making military is really key. More on gold. Please, more on gold. I know you have 4 relics, but you still need villagers on gold. Second TC, don't hate that. Well, I like it a lot, Still not scouting your opponent. I'm saying this 1,000 times, so it really gets in your head that you need to scout. Because the danger of this build from One of the Dragon is not the second or third fight. It's when he finally gets all his production up and he's just making this mass, and he got the buff, so now they're even stronger. And this is so many more units than you, man. You have 18. He's on 47. He got all his farms up. He has all his villages on gold. He has cheaper Burgrave units. He's even making them out of the barracks. And you're not responding in kind. This game came down to a lack of scouting, a lack of pressure, not following up on opportunities, and then just not making units. You just aged up to imp. You're just not making units. That's all it is. I'm telling you, man, so many of these games, so many people come down to just who makes units. Who makes units consistently? Who makes the right units? Who adjusts the units they're making based on what their opponent's running? See, he's so tanky, even your lancers are getting just crushed by him right now. Because this buff that he's getting from his prelates is absolutely massive right now. I don't like Temple of the Sun choice. I would have done the other one. Because you get Imperial Guards and better technology from it. And the Imperial Guards are really good, honestly. Yeah. Now it's game. Too tanky, man. Too tanky. Now he is imp as well. That's GG. And that's why Order of the Dragon is so good at this level, is because if you stop making units, but they make units, there's no coming back from that. Like, they're too strong. But yeah, I hope you got an understanding of the things you need to do better based on my point of view. Consistent scouting. You had the build down, but you didn't do any pressure. You didn't scout, you didn't scout, you didn't scout, you didn't scout. And then consistently making units and pushing when you have units based on where his resources are. I hope that was helpful to you. If you're interested in your own replay review, please let me know. Check out my coaching Discord and my coaching services and my other content. Check the box below the video to see links to that stuff. And good luck on your games.